If you have not heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. It's called Anchor. You can download it today at the Play Store. Peace. Support the work of Strike 7 Sports by heading to fanatics.com and purchasing officially licensed gear from the NFL, the NBA, and more. Each purchase made through the text link below goes into the funding of the Strike 7 Sports brand. To proceed, go to the link strike7sports.com/fanatics. I say again, strike7sports.com/fanatics. Thank you. Yo, what's up? This is your boy Derek Branch here with strike7sports.com. This is another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Brian Botta and Neil Seabury. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. It's been a crazy week in the world of sports. In particular the NFL, man. The NFL has been king, for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Dominating the ratings, dominating social media, dominating debate shows, Sports Center, everything. Just crazy endings to playoff games, players retiring, other things going on, such lawsuits and all that. We're gonna get into that soon, but first we're gonna recap the AFC NFC championship games with that featured the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers of the NFC West. So first, we're gonna just start with the AFC Championship game between Kansas City and Cincinnati Bengals. I thought that game was going to be over with by halftime. With that 21, Kansas City Chiefs had a 21-point lead. And then I think the Bengals scored 10 points before the half, and the Chiefs were in the red zone and deep in Cincinnati territory, pretty much about to score again until they stopped them on the goal line, and that pretty much changed the game. And in the second half, it just Patrick Mahomes just didn't have it, bro. It just he just got tight for whatever reason. He froze up, and the Bengals took care of it. Stopped him in the end zone, forced the game to overtime. He had forced into overtime. Bengals got the ball back, kicked the field goal, won it. Going to first Super Bowl since 1988, which was against the San Francisco 49ers. They've only been in the Super Bowl twice. That was against the 49ers, and they lost. So anybody?
I'll go quick. The Chiefs choked, in my opinion, more than the Bengals won. The Bengals have been a nice story and give them credit for making it to the Super Bowl. But it all started with, in my opinion, the momentum changed when they didn't get that touchdown at the end of the half. It just flipped. I kind of was going back and forth. They should have kicked the damn field goal. That's what they should have done. Or if you're going to throw it in the end zone. Don't throw it where there's a chance you could be tackled. But you got to give credit to the Bengals. They took advantage of the opportunity the Chiefs gave them. And the rest is history. The one thing I'll say about Mahomes, he's got to sometimes, the one thing you appreciate about Joe Burrow, why he kind of reminds me of Tom Brady a little bit, he sometimes takes what the defense gives you. If the home run play is there, he takes it, or it may look for every once in a while, but he sometimes just takes what the defense gives you. Patrick Mahomes is sometimes always trying to look for the home run play. And if I was offensive lineman, when you get it, it's fine, but I'll be pretty mad at him because, he's kind of making them look a little bad while they trying to run around trying to make a play. Sometimes just take what the defense gives you. I think he'll learn that quick. Also, Andy Reid, EB, I love those two guys, but they got to also help him out, run game, and just make the game a little easier for him, because I think sometimes they rely on Patrick Mahomes' greatness so much, and there's only so much they can do. They also got to fix that defense a little bit. But again, give credit to the Bengals. They took advantage of the mistakes the Chiefs made. And if the Rams want to win this game, I think they got to blow the Bengals out. If they keep it close in the fourth quarter, I think the Bengals could steal it. But we'll see.
You got anything to say, Brian? Leo?
Man, all I have to say is you have to give the Bengals credit for winning this game. The betting world, and I keep up with the betting world. Now that's why I bring into it. Like, y'all have to understand odds and stuff. And like the Bengals were down 21-3. Do you know how many teams would have laid down and just taken their butts and and just say we were happy to be here? Like, you know how many teams would have done that? Like, they fought their butts off. And I don't know how you can say the Chiefs choked away the game. Yada yada yada. Yeah, they didn't make a few plays, but were they playing against air? No, they weren't. They were playing against another team, and you have to give the Bengals credit. Their defense horrible in the first half, pretty good in the second half. Only gave up 55 passing yards to an offense that's relying on the pass, and they fought their butts off. Burnham deserves a lot of, obviously, most of the credit offensively for carrying the team. But you have to look at, on the factor that no one's really looking at, you have to look at the fact that the Bengals were able to win despite Chase not having a great game. That really stood out to me because everybody's talking about, he did have that touchdown, but early, I think in the first half, he didn't have more than he may have had 20 receiving yards, but they found other ways to win, and it's really good for the organization. And I think in the Super Bowl, the other team is, I don't know, they might win it. You never know. But shout out to the Bengals for taking care of business.
Okay. In the second game, we had the LA Rams against San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers pretty much owned Shanahan up until that point. Six straight games. Six straight times they had beaten the LA Rams dating back to 2019. And the Rams were able to get home field advantage get home field advantage due to Tampa losing to the Rams and Green Bay losing to San Francisco, and they got a chance to host the NFC Championship game and won this game by pretty much a field goal, 20-17. Defense was finally able to get pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo. Pretty much slowed down that 49ers rushing attack. He had a rushing attack. Deebo Samuel, had a touchdown in that game, but he didn't have that impact he had in other games. And Jimmy Garoppolo could get it done against that the Rams defense. But one thing I noticed is that it's very, it was very difficult for the Rams to generate any type of offense against San Francisco's front four with Joey Bosa, Eric Armstead. Who else is out there? Who else on that D line, man?
It's been a while.
I think it's Hodder. Is it Hodder too? He's on that D line in it too.
Yeah.
Is Kinlaw still?
Kinlaw, yeah.
Kinlaw's hurt.
Kinlaw, yeah.
That's why I didn't know. I knew he was on the team. I didn't know he'd be played in that game.
Yeah,
no Bosa. Man, we got the linebacker Fred. Well, it's very difficult for them to even run on San Francisco, and pretty much Stafford was able to attack their corners. They attacked the corners and got in field goal range to win that game. But other than that, man, San Francisco pretty much had them in check. It was looking like for a minute it was looking like they was about to pull away with that game until the Rams were able to fight back. Stafford, was able to make the plays to get him over the hump. So I just want to get your take on that one as well.
Since he went first on the last one, I go first on this one.
All right.
I think that this game really came down to the fact that one team in the Niners their really weaknesses came to fruition. Like they were a team that obviously strong defensively, but when you cannot finish drives offensively, you don't take risks offensively. Then when you need to take risks, that costs you games and it costs you a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I think that Kyle Shanahan's play caller in that third or fourth quarter, not even on the controversial drive when people say they should have went for the 45. I'm not even talking about that. That whole second half play caller, you were playing not to lose. You notice he didn't take that many chances. I think Garoppolo, he had the Garoppolo didn't even have the ball really that much in that second half. This shows really a lack of trust in your quarterback, and I feel like that they were kind of playing scared. But then you had a Rams team who I really felt like that even though they were down double digits, they felt like we're not out of this game. We're gonna win this game. I feel like one team was playing not to lose, and another one was playing to fighting their butts out to win. And when you're playing not to lose, especially when you're in the Super Bowl's on the line, they start the pressure, and then that defense that hit up in the first half got exploded. They got beat up on in the second half. They got pushed around. But when you can't finish offensively, your defense is going to be in, especially when you're going against a team like the Rams with so many options. But shout out to the Rams for winning.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said, but Kyle Shanahan in the fourth quarter of his last games he's lost, I don't think he scored any points. So that's not a good look for him. Maybe you could say the quarterback's an issue, but the defense did their part to only hold the Rams to 20 points. That's pretty impressive. The offense let them down, and Kyle Shanahan, he has to be more aggressive. You play to win the game, not play to be okay. And I know maybe you can say the defense was playing well, but 4th and 2, all the analytic models I was looking at said.
Oh, here we go. Here you go.
Yeah, it was the right.
Still ruining football, man.
Yeah.
Ruining football. Analytics ruining football.
Yeah, it's part of it. And look, let me just say one thing about the analytics. It's just data. Doesn't mean you should. It's just that's all it is. It's just data. Doesn't mean you should follow it. But I think it's helpful, and I think Kyle Shanahan should have gone for it, but he didn't. And I think that's one of the reasons why he'll be watching the Super Bowl like me and you guys on TV instead of playing it. But yeah, give credit to the Rams. This is why they made the move for Matt Stafford, to try to get them over the hump. Now they got to close the deal against Joe Burrow and the Bengals, which will not be easy.
Yeah, it won't be easy. A game could go either way. Depends on if the Rams could get pressure on that Bengals weak O line that we all know about. But we all know that don't really stop Joe Burrow because he was sacked 9 times. So we'll see though. All right, man. So continue on with our championship Sunday recap. Let's got another though. A second part to this topic is that Kansas City Chiefs and their Super Bowl window. What if I think this is the last time we have seen the Chiefs in this type of atmosphere, given everything they've gone through, all the achievements they've had throughout the years. So they've won the AFC South, not the AFC South, the AFC West six times, dating back to 2016. 4 AFC Championship game appearances, 1 Super Bowl championship appearance. And I just want to ask y'all, and I think they're about to lose a couple players, like I think Tyrann Mathieu might be going out the door. A few other guys, you got some free agents on that. A few of those wide receivers about to come free agents. So I want to ask y'all, do y'all think Chiefs Super Bowl window is close, given it with everything that is going on? The QBs are then in the conference right now.
I'll go first. The Chiefs can come back as long as you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I think they'll be all right. The question is, though, for me, is when will they win their next Super Bowl? Because the AFC is getting stronger almost every year, and Joe Burrow ain't going anywhere. Josh Allen ain't going anywhere. Their division alone, the Raiders will be better under Josh McDaniels. The Chargers, as long as Brandon Staley figures out when not to go for 2 and when to go for 2, they'll figure it out. No, but I think he's a good coach. And as long as you have Justin Herbert, you got a shot. But the AFC is loaded, so I can't remember. I think after that one Super Bowl that some people failed to mention on that run they had, they trailed almost in every game and they had to come back. It's not like they were dominating people. And so the Chiefs aren't as invincible as maybe people think. A lot of people maybe, I don't think they solved Mahomes, but they had a coverage where they basically took away the deep threat. And
I told you that.
They said, all right, Mahomes, we're just going to make you methodically drive down the field and beat us. And it seems like they don't want to do that, but they may have to just do that and just take what the defense gives you. But again, I'm not counting the Chiefs out, but I don't think maybe they'll win as many championships as maybe we thought. I think that's fair to say. But I'm not calling them a dynasty until they win 2, and they haven't done that yet. So I say 3. I know you say 3, but that's just me. All right.
Go ahead, Leo.
Man, I wouldn't say that they're done. Like, I don't think they have so much talent, y'all, and it's really when you have a team like Patrick Mahomes is a game changer. When you have him, y'all, all things are possible. This man, this man has done great things in the playoffs. Keep in mind, y'all, before yesterday, but before then yesterday, he only had one playoff loss before the Super Bowl. Keep in mind that, y'all. He lost one AFC championship game, and that was all his playoff losses before. They have the as long as you have him and you give him he makes players better around him. Some of those like Byron Pringle, like guys who are cast offs, Sammy Watkins, cast offs. He makes cast offs. Jared McKinnon, cast off. That's a big back, a smaller back, a change of pace back. He looked good this past season. He makes players around him available. So I don't think it's more about the supporting cast. Just knowing that you have Mahomes and Reed coming back next year, they're going for their title number 7. Hopefully they don't get the division number again. But guys, when you have Mahomes, you have the basis around him, the great foundation organizationally with what they have in Beach, all those guys. I know they lost Ryan Poles to the Bears, but when you have a great foundation, you're always a team that can contend.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you 100%. But let's think about this, man. Let's look at Dan Marino, man. Look at what Dan Marino went through, man. Where everybody thought that it was the second year when he was breaking all those records, and he went to the Super Bowl, got smashed by that 49ers team that went 15-1 with Joe Montana. People thought Marino was going to be back in the Super Bowl the next year, year after that, and look what happened. Like after that, the Dolphins is like based on my observation of it and for what people said, they kind of got like one dimensional with just the kind of like damn Marino dependent. Didn't really get any help. I mean, you never know how this is going to change throughout the years with that management out there. If they're gonna stop, they can stop. If let's say Andy Reid retires and they get a different type of head coach, that's ground and pound, a ground and pound type head coach, and that one that doesn't use Mahomes to his capabilities, and then they start struggling in the playoffs. They start becoming a wild card team, one and done like Dan Marino. You don't have a running game. You know what I'm saying? They stop spending money. So I mean, that possibility is always there. Also, man, you got these other quarterbacks that are coming up soon. You got Lamar. Don't forget about Lamar Jackson. You got Burrow. You got Josh Allen. You got who am missing? Jared. Oh, man, be quiet, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
You got Joe Burrow.
You know what? I think.
Burrow.
Let me see.
He might even have Tua.
Yeah, it was Tua. I'll give that 10 head alibi. He had a new offensive coordinator. I know the previous year he was really good. I don't know what happened with this new guy he got, the OC. We'll see. But shoot, don't let old buddy get good in the New York Jets. What his name is?
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. Don't let him get better. You got Mac Jones, man. I keep bringing this home, man, with this quarterback thing, bro. You got to have them guys. Now, I mean, look, I think he still has a shot, man. The window's still there, man. It's gonna get harder though. It's just gonna get harder to get there because as long as these other quarterbacks get better, it's gonna get tough. So I think it ain't over yet for him, to me. So we'll see. All right, and another thing I want to ask y'all, another question I want to ask y'all on this topic: Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Do y'all consider this to be the greatest 2-year turnaround ever in NFL history?
You can maybe. Can I go real quick and then I'll let
Yeah.
you go? You can maybe say the 49ers, but that team was pretty loaded with Jim Harbaugh. But that team was pretty loaded. So, yeah, I would say it is.
My goodness. 2-year turnaround from being the worst team in the league in 2-14 to being a Super Bowl team. That is
Right there, the
it.
Bengals, dude. The Bengals.
They're the Bengals. This is a team, DB, you know, in the 90s were known as the Bungles.
Yeah.
Like I can't get my head around it. I would probably say, yeah, during my lifetime, yeah. You, arguably you could say the Panthers. I looked it up. The Panthers in '02 were the worst team in the league, and then 2 years later, we're in the Super Bowl against the Patriots with Jake Delhomme and Steve Smith. The '02 team was terrible, but they got a few moves, hired John Fox, and and the rest was history. So I would probably say them and that move right there, probably during my lifetime, were probably the two best turnarounds. But like we talked about, DB. Also, you have to give the Bengals credit for turnaround because patience, waiting, trusting the process. When you remember how people talked about their owner talked about how we're seeing improvement. People are laughing at him like, what improvements? They gave him this was supposed to be a trial year. This was supposed to be the year to see if this guy could coach. And well, we can see now he can coach. So I'd say it's the biggest turnaround with the Panthers one I was talking about.
Yeah, I would agree. I've seen some great turnarounds, in the past. One come to mind is that the St. Louis Rams, great show on turf. They were
Hmm
3-13 a year prior. They was playing in the division though. That was with the San Francisco 49ers that was running the NFC West at the time. Kurt Warner comes in and they pretty much take over the division in the 1 year. They go 13-3 and won the Super Bowl. So that was pretty impressive for that. So this is up. I gotta put this up there though, man. This 2 years to turn around by Burrow. First year, lost for the season. Second year goes to a Super Bowl. Got a chance to win a Super Bowl. So I would say the past 3 years, he's won a Heisman. He won an extra championship. Now he's going to a Super Bowl within 3 years. I haven't seen a quarterback done that yet. Not even Peyton Manning done that. Cam Newton.
Mm-mm.
No
Nope.
Heisman Trophy quarterback done it. Tebow. Who else out there? Not even
Not even
who else?
Cam.
RG3. Huh?
Not even Cam Newton.
Yeah. I mean, you can put Russell Wilson up there with it because Russell went to the playoffs his first year. Second year he got to a Super Bowl, won it. But I mean, different things were at play at that time though. Yeah, Seattle had a really good defense. So, Russell wasn't really given the credit that he would get now to go on the Super Bowl. But I put it up there, man. It's impressive, bro. So, all right, moving right along. So, over the weekend, we got the bombshell that Tom Brady was retiring, and his team. I would say his age representation. Try to say that he was still deciding. It was up in the air. And I felt like it was kind of dumb. It's kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wanted to put it out. Just release it, man. Just leak it, man. You can retire. No, I don't know why everybody was going at Adam Schefter for it, but it is what it is. And then on his podcast yesterday, he said it's a day-to-day situation. He's back and forth between it. So this morning he wake up and say, "Hey, I'm retiring." Puts out a long, drawn-out Instagram post on his career, time with the Patriots, all that. And Brady's resume is up there, man. It's pretty much one of the best resumes for NFL quarterback. 7 Super Bowl titles, 5-time Super Bowl MVP, 3-time league MVP. Broke a bunch of records in the league. Broke for 5,000 yards this year. So to me, he went out on top, even though he didn't win the Super Bowl. He went out on top. He went out in good shape, still could play at a high level. Could have came back if he wanted to, but I think it was this outside stuff such as family and all that prevented it from happening. So I want to get your thoughts on that.
I'll take this real quick. I'm glad Tom Brady's gone. He won too many damn games. The way this whole thing unfolded, I wish if he'd just come out quicker and just did it. I don't think making a retirement needs to be a big deal out of it. But, yeah, like I said before, I'm glad he's gone, and I'm ready for this new generation. Let's make it about them. A lot of really good quarterbacks. And, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Really, I'm excited that he's retired. But shout out to a great career. I really think that he's done. He's the best quarterback ever. He's the most obviously most the most decorated quarterback ever. And really, I really am eager to see what the Bucks do now. Like they're now it's time to see. Were they just Tom Brady, or was there a structure to build on before Brady got there? If that makes sense, y'all. This is going to really
Can
take
you
the
repeat what
Bucks.
you said, man?
th- we're gonna see now if this was just Tom Brady that helped him win the Super Bowl, or whether there was a structure behind this. That makes sense. Now we're
Okay.
really gonna see what they're made of. We're gonna see what they're made of. And so, but for real, though, shout out to the best player to ever play in the NFL, and shout out to really just a career that started in a sixth round. This guy was the fourth string quarterback. That shows you all. He went from being a four-string quarterback to the Super Bowl champion just a year later. And we got to talk about that. We should have drawn out the Patriots team with 5-11 to the Super Bowl, being a champion with a six-round
Yeah, you're
quarterback.
right.
That's a great turnaround too. So
Yeah, it is.
yeah, yeah. So that's special, man, and he deserves all the praise that he gets for real.
Yeah, he does. Great career, man. I'm glad he's gone, man. I really am, man. I'm really glad he's gone. It's not trying to not hating on anything like that, but just glad he's gone. Just want to see somebody else, come up in the league and just, take it over like a Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. There's just so many options out there. It won't be like with Brady's era where it was just Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, Manning, and Big Ben pretty much, but they never really like put Big Ben in the category of a Breeze or a Brady. It was just pretty much those four quarterbacks. But I'm ready for the new era to come in and show what they got. But in regards to Brady retiring, man, Stu been playing for a long time, bro. Dude got started playing. I was like a junior in high school, bro, when he got started. That's a long time, dude. And I was watching him at Michigan back in the day, and I think he was Brian Grease's backup. Y'all knew Brian Grease is? Greasy is the guy who
Yeah,
commentated.
yeah.
Yeah, he was his backup. So whenever I watched Brady play back in the day at Michigan, I was like, you know what? If this guy gets an opportunity in the NFL, he's probably not going to be a first round pick. He's going to be really good playing himself. I didn't think he'd be winning 5 and 6, 7 Super Bowls, but I think he would be really good. So he got there. He gets picked in the 6th round, goes to New England. Drew Bledsoe at the time was the QB that they signed to a big contract. I know Drew Bledsoe was the man back in the day. He gets injured by Mo Williams, lost for the season. Brady gets the job and just pretty much took it over, man. And just the rest is history, And I don't know if you're gonna ever see a type of. I don't know if you're gonna see teams be patient like that with a quarterback in the 6th round. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it just. I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon. Where we get a guy that's picking the 6th round, he comes in and try to play, shows that he's good. I don't know if the team's gonna be patient enough with that. But hats off to Brady, man. I'm glad he's retired. Great career. All right. All right, let me ask y'all this one question. Last with regards to Brady. One more. So with these accolades that he has, all his achievements and all that, where would you rank him among like all-time great athletes that has a lot of championships, like a Jordan, a Serena? Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant, Derek Jeter, LeBron. Where did you rank Brady and across those other athletes?
I'll say he's a great champion, but if you compare someone to someone that played basketball, they have to play both sides of the ball. Tennis, both sides of the ball. Golf, I know it's an individual sports, but you have to defend your lead, and you gotta. So I would say he's a great winner. I wouldn't say he's the greatest athlete of all time.
Good. All right. Good work.
I I think really he has to be somewhere. You got to rank him up there in terms of like. I think of all the sports you just named, NFL is the hardest to just keep winning it. Like that's the hardest one. Like it's hard every year because it's all those. Well, besides NBA, you got NBA, Major League Baseball, and in all this bit like in the playoff. When we come to playoff time, it's best of seven, best of five. NFL, you lose one game, you done. And like he was the best at coming up in clutch situations. So he's probably I wouldn't say maybe not the best athlete, but he in my opinion he the best winner. You got to put him up there with Gretzky too though. Gretzky, all those people too. So like I would even put him up there with like Wayne Gretzky, and that's the holy one pretty much when it comes to the hockey. So I always like you have like Jordan NBA and most people are. You got obviously MLB. I don't. It's a lot. You can say Babe Ruth, and then you got NHL Gretzky. NBA, NFL, I say it's Brady.
That's fair enough. Yeah. I think he's up there. He's like in my top five, top six all time great athletes, man. Jordan, Serena, Kobe, Tiger. He's up there, man. Um, All time great athlete. Played in an era where it was salary cap restrictions. The league plays in the league that has the most, you know, I would say difficult way to build a championship contender because of a lot of teams ain't willing to, manipulate the salary cap. They're not willing to do those other things to be successful. So, I gotta give him credit for that. All right. So moving right along, man. So up next, we're gonna talk about the Las Vegas Raiders and the new head coach, Josh McDaniels. Um, man, brother, y'all know how I feel with Josh McDaniels, but I think he's overrated. I haven't really seen his scheme outside of New England. I did the whole Denver Broncos thing, the way that went down. He was the only coach that really thought he could do something with Tim Tebow. The only coach. He drafted this dude in the first round. His record in Denver was 11-17. He had Brandon Marshall. I think Jay Cutler was with him at one point.
He cut Cutler. He traded him as soon as he got there.
Yeah, trade Cutler. It was just a bad stint in Denver, man. And now that I put two and two together and the way these I would say Belichick proteges act, what I heard from what the stories I heard about Nick Judd, the way he came across, and the whole Brian Flores stuff in Miami, but we'll talk about that different, later in the show. But the stuff just don't work outside of the New England Patriot compound, man. It's the Patriot way. But I got some audio I want to play from a former Denver Broncos player on DJ Williams. He has recently, like a few weeks ago, give a little insight on Josh McDaniels on the I Am Athlete podcast with Brandon Marshall. I'm just gonna let y'all listen to it for real quick.
Coordinator was an offensive coordinator in New England during all the championships. He came to Denver. I never in my life was more prepared for a game than the years that I played with Josh McDaniels. They took preparation for a game. For me, it was on some psychoanalytic. For the meeting on a Wednesday, and he would lay out keys to victory. This is how we win the game. Every time we did exactly what he said, we won. He said, look, when they line up in this formation, you're their linebacker. They're running a deep dig behind you. He said, at the snap of the ball, sprint to the hash mark. He said, if you turn around fast enough, you got to pick. If not, it's going to hit you in the back of the head. Like that. And so we did that for 6 weeks. Facts. Wait, hold on. I'm out here. We get to San Francisco. We play San Francisco. We end up losing to San Francisco. We're supposed to beat San Francisco. Okay. Here's what happened. Our film guy got caught because we had to share a stage. Got caught filming their practice. That's the Belichick way. Now say it again. Spygate? Say it again. That's the Spygate? Our film guy got caught filming their practice. 1 week later, Josh is fired. Josh tried to say the film guy, who was his boy that he grew up with, whatever. I believe we started out 6-0. We ended up 8-8. After that junior Spygate happens, the junior Spygate, we lose 6 out of 8 games, and I believe you not. Once that losing streak happened, we was having breakfast. We was cheating. We was cheating. Belichick way. Hey, that might explain why you never left the England. What's that? You ain't cheating.
All right. There you have it. Those are the words of DJ Wade on NFL linebacker with Denver. Yeah, was under the guys. He played with Josh McDaniel in Denver, and they had Brandon Marshall on that team as well. That was a pretty good team, man. It pretty much underachieved. I mean, the year after that, he got fired. He hired John Fox, kept Tebow, got paid man, all that good stuff. Went to the Super Bowl, but I remember that year, Josh McDaniels' first year in Denver. They started off 6-0, man, red hot, and it just crashed and burned, 8-8. And dude, based on what people are saying, DJ Williams, Brandon Marshall, they think is that Josh McDaniels looked like a pretty smart coach, man, like a really intelligent coach. I just want to see what does he do outside of New England. How is he going to utilize an offense? Because in Denver, I didn't see enough. It's going to be what we saw with the Patriots, where Derek Carr is pretty much doing his bubble screens and quick passes. Will it be a lot of manipulation at the line of scrimmage with on the center? Pre-snap. What is it going to be? Because I heard that when New England went to the 2 tight end set with the late Aaron Hernandez and Gronk, that was Bill O'Brien's concept, not his. So I just want to see how is he going to utilize the wide receivers, the offense, and their entire 9 yards with the Raiders. So just want to hear from Leo on this hire and how you feel about it.
Well, Josh McDaniels, when I first heard about the news, I was ecstatic. Also, with the news of Dave Ziegler coming over too, we also have to lump him in here too. Player personnel guy from Patriots coming over as well as in the package with McDaniels. When I first heard about the hire, I was kind of queasy about it because everyone knows he'd been in the division already. He knows the division well. He, as the coach of the Broncos, even though he was only there for 28 games. I was thinking this guy, like, oh my gosh, I would have preferred like a horrible. I would have preferred Brian Flores, ironically. But when I looked at it, the man, the man was 30. The man was 33 years old when he got hired. He was in it. He wasn't ready. Right. I thought, okay, he's 12 years removed from, I think 10 plus years removed from that job. You learn, mature. We all make mistakes. He made mistakes, and he talked about this. And he was talking, and I watched the press conference interview. He was talking about how you learn from your mistakes and you move on, and he's gotten better. Like it didn't work the first year, 2 years he was there. So that he learned. And so when I watched it, I was like, you know what? I'm more confident in him now because, and I'm also confident in him because he's keeping Derek Carr. He wants Derek Carr there. He's noted that he's a winner. They say he's a winner. First of all, Daniels is a winner. He knows how to work with quarterbacks. Hey, he kept Matt Castle afloat. Keep in mind that Matt Castle looked like got paid off partially because of Josh McDaniels. Got paid. And so it's not just he's had Brady. He's worked with different other quarterbacks and made them look good. Brissett, Garoppolo. Think about this. It's not just this is a pedigree. And so I was like, you know what? He's groomed the quarterbacks. He's having quarterbacks get paid. Hey, Brissett got paid a little bit. So I mean, I'm like, you know what? This is a great hire for the regular organization. We will be in the Super Bowl next season. We will see y'all in Glendale, Arizona, and we will be playing somebody. We're going to the Super Bowl. So I said it first. Watch out.
Yeah, I think this is a okay hire. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so yeah, I think this is an all right hire. I mean, there's one guy I follow on Twitter. He's like, I think it's a okay hire for every hire that comes, but we'll see what. I'm not gonna give it an A. I'm not gonna give it an F. I'll just give it a C because we just don't know. But the key reason I believe why this opportunity was important is Dave Ziegler and him. They both were college teammates at John Carroll University. They both were in Denver together, and now they went back to New England together. Now they're coming to Las Vegas together. So I think that alignment is one of the reasons why he took this job over maybe the Colts job that he turned down. But I think the Raiders, they needed an upgrade from Rich Versace. I liked him, but I just don't think he was great long term. I think they got that in Josh McDaniels. But I think one of the reasons why Belichick disciples struggle is because they try to be like him, and they got to try to be themselves. Doesn't mean you can't be hard on your players, but just try to be yourself. And if you do that, and he even said he needed to work on cultivating relationships better, and I realized how important everybody have that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
All right. He realized, Josh McDaniels realized how important everybody involved with the organization is, and how he has to get them where he needs them to be to reach their ceiling. So I think the Raiders will be all right. Will they win a Super Bowl? I don't know, because the AFC is really loaded, but I think they're better than they were after the John Gruden disaster set. That's all you can say. But we'll see. Josh McDaniel has a lot to prove, and I just want to ask y'all this question. Someone brought it up, and I thought it was interesting. Do you think he left New England? Because apparently he was also a mix to be the coach in waiting after Belichick retired. Do you think he left New England because maybe he felt that Mac Jones had a ceiling and he didn't think he could win a Super Bowl with him?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll find out, man. We'll find out about Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Let down the road, man. This guy is really it, man. Because they can move on from him, man. A young quarterback winning 10 games in his first year going to the playoffs. That's not good enough for a lot of teams. It just you gotta be Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, for real.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
Bruh.
I don't agree with that either. Hey, Trey Lance has looked at the next one, and he barely played this year.
Yeah. I'm just saying, man, like Belichick older though, man.
Would
You
you rather
trying
have
to
him
win
or
a
Trevor
Super Bowl?
Lawrence? Him or Trevor
Huh?
Lawrence this year? Would you rather have him or Trevor Lawrence this year?
I'm not have Mac Jones, man.
See? So, heck, and Jacksonville's not moving on Trevor anytime soon. That we
No,
know of.
he's not doing
I
it.
feel like the only way he gets traded is if he wants out, but they're not trading him unless on their terms. It'll be on his terms.
But I think the Raiders, man, I think they're gonna be fine, man. Good team. They got to fix up on the defense, man. Improve on the defense. I don't know, man. Josh Jacobs he kind of regressed a little bit to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got nice weapons. Zay Jones. Who's the other wide receiver I got?
We
Zay
have Hunter
Jones got
Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow. Oh, man, he's gonna eat in this offense, man. I forgot all about that. He's gonna eat. He's gonna eat 100
Welker.
Renfro.
That's all
Got
I have to say. It's Wes Welker. Wes Welker. That's all I
yeah,
have to say.
yeah. Brian, was it Brian Jennings, Brian Jones,
Oh, you're
the
talking
wide
about
receiver.
you're talking about number 89, Brian Edwards.
Yeah, Brian Edwards got him. I mean, it's a decent receiving core, man. I really like Zay Jones though, man. Zay Jones, y'all gotta keep him. Man. I think he's an unrestricted free agent. Keep
Mm-hmm.
that guy. But other than that, man, I think you probably a few pieces away on defense and being really good at the division in that conference as well. But a good hire, man. I think it's a good hire for the Raiders. And hopefully they can put the stuff behind them. Had a good year. We'll see how it goes from there. All right. So we're gonna segue to this, man. The big topic, the big one, the bomb that came down with Brian Flores, man. He just
Something about those Bryans. We don't take nonsense. We don't
he
take
just
nonsense.
he just emptied the clip, man. He just emptied the clip on the league, bro. It just right in the middle of Brady's retirement, man. Like that stuff just went away fast, man. I thought it was gonna be like Tom Brady Day all day, Tom Brady Day, because first take start off with their little usual topics. Then the news is broke. Brady's retirement, and it just pretty much dedicated a entire show to Tom Brady. I think you sent me that thing around that message around like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and I'm like, that's a wrap. And it's like Twitter just went off, man. So according to the reports, Brian Flores is suing the NFL and a few other teams such as the New York Giants, the Denver Broncos, and a few others. I think the Miami Dolphins as well for discrimination, racism against black coaches and their pursuit of becoming a head coach of an NFL franchise. So right here on my screen, I got three standout allegations from Brian Flores' class action suit against NFL multiple teams. In 2019, Broncos team officials, including John Elway, held a sham interview to appease the Rooney Rule, showing up late and looking disheveled, I guess. Also that year, Dolphins owner Stephen Ross offered Flores, bruh, 100K, 100 grand, really 100 grand. Could have given a little more than that, but it is what it is. 100K for each loss to improve the team's draft order. Flores refused. So I think in the first year they was playing pretty bad. Remember, everybody was accusing them of tanking, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
So in 2020, Flores was pressured by Ross to meet with a prominent free agent quarterback, lunch on a yacht, a violation of league tampering rules. Flores said he refused to do it. I wonder who was that free agent, that prominent free agent quarterback. Then what else, man? He got the text. He had did a text exchange with Bill Belichick, and Belichick thought he was talking to Brian Dable, and Belichick said he blinked up, and he said he thought he made a mistake, and thought the message was going to Brian. Brian Dable. It went to Brian Flores. Flores was ticked off about that. But there's a bunch of things in that message, man. I went and read it. I'm still reading it. It's a very thorough document put together, man. It was the timing of it was pretty much on point. You waited. I know this is stuff that come out today. This must have been playing like a while ago, and he did the interview with the Saints. I just want to ask y'all. People are saying that this is a smoking gun that could get the league, that could finally get the league to conform to the changing. I want to ask y'all, compared to the cabinet situation, do you think real change will come to this in regards to how the NFL treats black candidates and other people of color in regards to these opportunities?
I'll take this one first. This is a tough one. This is really tough for me. Man, I think there's some change that could happen. But, man, Brian Flores, man, he's risking a lot. And I know some people are applauding him. A lot of people are really, really like, he's doing a great job. We love it. But I would love to see those people do the same thing at their industry. They want to do it. And so while some people think it's courageous, some people think it's kind of stupid. And really, really, I just don't know if it's worth it. That's the way I look at it. But
How?
the one thing I'll say, wait, what?
Cause I mean, you got valid points, man, but I'm not. I'm not in a not yet, but I'm not in a. I don't run $1 million industry, man. My network ain't what Flores network. These dudes make money already, man.
That's fair. And look, I don't think if he wants to coach in college, I think he could get that.
I
That
don't
you
think
just
you can do
got.
that either, man.
I think he could. I
I
just
think
don't know if he wants to do it.
it could be at HBCU, I think.
Maybe, but he's burned a lot of bridges today.
But go ahead, for sure.
And a lot of people will be tough for them to trust him. But like I said, there are a lot of people cheering him on. This is tough because look, he knew when if a lot of people knew when Joe Shane, the Giants' new GM, was hired, there's a good chance he was going to hire somebody from the Bills. So it's either going to be Brian Dable or Leslie Frazier. And we all knew Leslie Frazier didn't have a real chance at that job. They'll go through the interview process, but he didn't really have a chance at that job. So everyone knew that Dable was the favorite. Part of this, let me ask you guys this. Do you think that Brian Flores comes out with this lawsuit if he got the Giants job?
I don't know.
You know. Come on, man.
Probably would,
He
man. He probably
ain't
would.
doing this. If he got that job, he ain't doing this lawsuit. I ain't
Nah.
buying that. I'm sorry. Well, that's just my opinion. But what people out are saying, he's from New York. He really wanted this job. It sucks the way it went down. But again, if Bill Belichick told me that, I'm not taking that interview. Or if I do take that interview, I let them know that I know that he's probably the favorite. Just put in a good word for me around the league. So if I go somewhere else and they ask you, you can give me a good word. But I don't think he made the right decision taking that interview. But some of the other stuff is pretty wild. What's going on? We'll see what happens with the Dolphins. If that's true, there's a chance Stephen Ross will be forced to sell the team. But man, this could be a big story. But I don't know. Until I see it, I won't say that this will lead to significant changes. What it could do is it may not be the fact people believe it'll be. I think it could hurt some black candidates, unfortunately, because people will definitely be more maybe selective on who they bring in to interview. It won't be maybe the way they think, unless the rules change. That's just my opinion. But we'll see how this goes. I still can't believe this thing went down. But I don't think he should have done this, in my personal opinion. But hey, it's his decision, his life. He's gonna live with this decision. I hope he just doesn't regret it. But man, there's a lot of money left on the line. But not just that. Just even if you didn't want to be a coach, like I was looking at his resume, he was like I think a scouted assistant before he became a coach. So maybe that could be a possible avenue somewhere. But man, he took a big risk. But I'll hand it over to you, Leah.
Well, to answer you, I have a lot to say. I made a tweet earlier. I apologize for. I said black people don't know when to be quiet. Some black people. Let me.
I'm sorry.
I said that, and I since retracted it because people have a right to feel a certain way. You feel wronged in society, by processes of life and things of that nature. You have a right to say something back. And that's why I was like, you know what? I can't be mad at that. This man was a coach for 3 years. This man had 2 winning seasons. He was released from his job. He goes to the process. Okay, the day he was released from his job, people were saying by the same Adam Schefter, he's going to be a high candidate on the coaching market. That's what everybody was saying, right? This is going to be the main. This is going to be the number one guy. This man goes into interviews with several teams. Isn't formally offered a job from any of those squads. remembers of multiple occasions where he felt slighted and disrespected, because if that one is true, and the team refuted it by saying they did this, they did that, and I sent it in our group chat, and so he feel if that's true, what he's saying though, it's really a shame, it's a sham. Um, Giants really, I don't know what he has on them that can prove that they're had racist intent, like their intent was their selection was based off race. We don't know. Only he knows what he has and what he doesn't have on that. But my thing is this: I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, you you taking a big risk for something that you're taking a risk for something that you're ultimately going to be the loser of regardless. Because the risk reward level is a loss for he's in a lose-lose situation. Because more likely than not, DV, he won't be a coach in the NFL again ever. More likely than not. And while yes, let's just say this leads to more black coaches being hired, he won't be one of those guys. But you have to give a man credit. When I have to step back to this, you have to give a man people credit, DB, who take risks for things that are bigger than themselves. This is bigger than him. Brian Flores won't be the last black coach hired. Well, he won't be the last. There'll be hopefully there will be more black coaches hired, like in the processes and things of that nature. And so he won't be the only guy. So this is historic. It's ironic because this happened on the first day of Black History Month. Keep that in mind, y'all. So this is literally would be Black history if this, like, for real, if he's ever be successful with this. Because keep in mind, last 2 times the NFL has been sued. Keep in mind, they were sued in '86 by USFL. Only lost $1 off the lawsuit. They won $1. Kaepernick won his lawsuit, won a undisclosed amount of money that was never made public. So the third time big lawsuit that I know of, I'm not sure what it'll be, but for him to have sued and have all this information, DB shows that he had this in his back pocket. I'm not saying he was hoping this would happen so he could sue, but it's kind of ironic that he didn't get those jobs, and he didn't even wait it out, because who knows, he may have gotten the Texans job. He would have gotten the Saints job. You never know. It's teams that are still looking for head coaches. The Vikings, weren't they still looking for a head coach? It's teams that are still looking for coaches. It's teams that are still looking for coaches. The process wasn't done yet. If I were him, I waited till after the whole process was done before I did this. Because what if you get hired, man? But maybe he was like, maybe.
Yeah, they hired him.
No, I'm talking about like before this. He would have got. Did he have? I'm not mistaken. Y'all keep. I'm more of a keep more with like women's basketball, things of that nature. But then y'all are guys that keep up with the game a lot. Was he a favorite to get that Texans job?
The Texans, it's kind of tough. He knows.
I don't think it was.
He has a relationship with Casaria, the GM with the Texans. He came from New England, but that job was wide open. There's no definitive guy you could say. There's even some talk the defensive coordinator with the Eagles, Jonathan Gannon, was probably the favorite. But damn it, Shurtown was a finalist. So
yeah.
And look, I hate to bring race into it because I don't want to always use race, but I doubt they would have hired back-to-back black coaches. That's just me. That's the way I look at the Texans, unless if they really, really love Brian Flores, and maybe, but I do agree with you. He should have waited it out, but I can't say for sure he would have gotten the Texans job, and that's really the only job I felt like he was going to get. I didn't think he'd get the Saints job. I still think that's going to Dennis Allen. The Vikings probably going to hire. They're more than likely going to hire Jim Harbaugh, and so unless it's the Jags, that situation's a mess in Jacksonville. Maybe they could have come in late, but I understand why. But again, he's just taking a big risk, which I don't know if it was worth it, in my opinion. But we'll see.
Yeah, the answer, man. Good.
Yeah, I was gonna say some. ultimately, you can make this argument, y'all. Winning is what got Flores in trouble, and losing is what got him fired.
I ain't got him in trouble.
Remember, the winning got him in trouble earlier. Remember, with the winning, they were in 2019 when they kept winning and their draft spot kept getting lower. Winning got him in trouble, and losing got him fired. So you really can make that argument. Like, this man did the one thing you didn't want him to do, which is win. But then when he improves the team, you let him go. So that was kind of messed up in my opinion. And I kind of disagree with Brian. Stephen Ross is not going to be able to sell the team. He's not going to be forced to sell the team. And you can kiss that goodbye. He is not selling the team. No.
100K to 10 games? Games?
He is a owner. He runs the team. He was let go for not. Your boss tells you to do something. I'm not saying it's right, but you do what your boss tells you to do. Your boss says to.
You messed up, bro. You messed up.
Listen,
come on,
your boss. Right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not condoning what Ross is saying. I'm not condoning it. The man said, "You lose. We want you to lose games." You're not. I'm not saying. Of course, Brian Flores is a competitor and a grown man. He wants to win. The man was about there to win. But when your boss tells you something and you don't follow the rules, there's consequences for that. I'm not saying that he's. Stephen Ross is I can't say what he is, but for that, if that's true, but man, he laid it down to him. And then the Brady situation, you lost Tom Brady, potentially. Brady might would have went to Miami if you had sold him on a vision. And then I could see Ross being upset about that. I would be upset about that. Because they may be Miami with a Super Bowl ring defending their title.
Maybe.
So you just never know. So I could see why it led to the downfall of that Brian Flores era. But go ahead.
All right, man. The way I see it, I hope something comes from this, something positive. And I hope it's long term. I just hope this ain't just another, you know how it is how it is when these type of things happen on social media, the networks. They're like the George Floyd issue where everybody's emotional, but we're not really like thinking long term. We just thinking about now and, defund the police, do this, do that, let's get rid of this. And it didn't really help, you know what I'm saying? Because we were just emotional. And I just hope this ain't the same thing as what we're doing with this issue right here. I just hope that something positive could come from this. I hope this a lot of this leads to more Black people get opportunities as far as becoming NFL head coaches. I've said in the past, a few weeks ago, how, Blacks are pretty much have to take these jobs, these bad jobs, where they pretty much have to overachieve in the 2 years, and within 2 years to keep a job for the third year. We saw it in Denver, where you got Vance Joseph got 2 years with the Broncos. Steve, the guy in Arizona.
1 year, Steve Wilkes.
Steve Wilkes got 1 year with Arizona. Ray Rhodes, back in the day, the old defensive coordinator with the Eagles, we went to Green Bay. He got 1 year. They went 8-8, still got fired. So we get a short end of the stick with this stuff, man, all the time. Now that stuff with Flores, with the Dolphins owner, man, that's some serious stuff right now, man. With throwing games. Losing on purpose just to get a high draft pick. I mean, you can have something there. I really don't understand the whole being upset with Belichick because he sent you a text. He thought you was Brian Dable, which you were Brian. It was Brian Flores. I already don't get that part of it, but we'll see how everything's gonna play out with that. But it's a fluid situation, man. I'm kind of like trying to let the whole situation play out before I provide like a full blown take on it. But I just don't want this to be another thing where we get all emotional about it and going on social media without thinking long term we don't win anything from this. I just don't want it to be that because as black people we do that. We get real emotional with the stuff, get charged up, we want answers now, and this and that. It don't work because we're not thinking long term. So I just want to see how this situation plays out. And maybe I think he has something against the league, but we'll find out, man. I just don't hope. Just don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't turn out the way I think it's gonna turn out. Where it's just something that's temporary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I understand he's better. I feel like that's what it is. And he has some valid points, but like Leah, I just want to touch on real quick on that. They can force Stephen Ross to sell the team if they can prove that. They can force it. Now, will it be hard to do? Yes, but they can force him. So, and I was listening. I'm not just making this up. I was listening to a legal expert, and he said that if that was true, that they could potentially do that. Will it ultimately happen? That remains to be seen. I don't know how he's going to be able to prove that. But someone did make up a point. I don't know if you remember it when the Dolphins played the Steelers on Monday night, and the analysts were pointing back to the game after or the day after. They're like, they're basically trying to lose the game. That when you make that call, you don't make that call on that play. And I remember that. I'm thinking, wow, I wonder if that was one of the. This is kind of like a similar situation, what he's talking about, alluding to. But yeah, Brian Flores is taking a risk. I hope the long-term benefits come out of this, but I think it ultimately, the way I'm looking at it, I think it could end up being worse. This is just the pessimistic in me, so maybe I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. He's going on Good Morning America tomorrow, I think, in the morning, CBS mornings, I think, to talk. I'm not sure if I would be doing that if I was him, but hey, he has to do what he feels is best. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say. But again, I hope someone asks him, if you got the Giants job or you got any of his jobs, would you be doing this lawsuit? And I would love to know his answer. But, man, it's NFL. The one thing, are any of you guys surprised this is going on? That's the one thing I'm not. I didn't think it was this bad, but I'm not surprised this is going on. When you look at Eric Bieniemy, he's had 14 interviews and no job. That's pretty wild. And I don't want to just say it's necessarily racism, but I've never seen a white guy get that many interviews and don't have a job. But it is what it is. But man, this thing's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. But if you look at the Colin Kaepernick settlement, what ended up happening is they just didn't get. We don't know the details of it. We just know he got paid money and that was it. But we know he never got another shot again, and so that's my fear. But maybe it'll take a team with a lot of guts, but you got to build that the trust. Because if I was an owner, it'll be hard for me to trust him. But if I do the right thing, I don't think he would do something like that. But man, it's the trust. Number one thing in relationships is trust. If you lose that, it's hard to gain it back.
Yeah, so that's true. We'll see how it plays out. It'll play out, man. I just want to see more, layers to the story, more, the facts presented. He can actually prove that Ross for him to temperature win games to get a high draft pick. I just want to see how things play out. I just want to see positive come from this, man. I just want to see long-term growth from this. Not just something that's temporary, just to satisfy the fan base, the black fan base, and things like that. I don't want to see long-term solutions to this. Coaches get it, or their potential of being great as a head coach. So we'll see how everything plays out. All right, man. Last topic right here. Last one of the night. We got Memphis basketball. We're gonna preview this upcoming game with with Cincinnati Bearcats. Cincinnati's 15-6, they're fourth place in the AAC, 5-3 conference record. Memphis is 11-8 right now in sixth place. So 5-4 record. Memphis won the last matchup. Able to they were able to pretty much slow down Memphis Seattle the Bearcats attack on offense. It was hitting a lot of threes in that game, but Memphis made shots as well with Todd Harris. He had 20 points. To me, as for me, the way I see it, I think Memphis really needs to win this game this Thursday against Houston. Not Houston, man, I'm tripping. Cincinnati, they need to win this game. Just start, going on a winning streak. Still rattle off. I think they did rattle off 5 to 6 wins. I think they will be in good shape as far as when they get down to Houston. I don't think it's going to be good for them if they lose the game against Cincinnati and, drop the 2 games against Houston. I think it would be better if they can beat Cincinnati, beat Houston once. And I would say like split. That would be I think they need to lose. I think it'd be better if they would lose one more game to close out the season and win the rest of them. And then once they get the tournament time, take care of Houston. I bet I think it'd be beneficial if they split with Houston right now. But just give your take on this, man.
I'll go real quick. One other thing I wanted to add on the last topic is I think this is why the NFL should be like the NBA, get a draft lottery. And teams will still try to maybe lose, but I think it could help a little bit. Or maybe play younger players, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, so with the basketball, Memphis, they still got a shot. This is a huge opportunity. Right now, the way it's looking, Amani Bates won't be there. That's kind of a whole nother story. But I think Penny has a chance to do what he wanted to do from the beginning of the season, make the tournament. You got these quad one opportunities, a few of them left. You got to take advantage. But if you don't get them, then you'll have to go all in on trying to win the conference tournament. But I think he's found a set rotation with the guys he has. It was ugly against ECU, but they got the job done. Cincy will be a whole lot tougher, especially at Cincy. But I think this is a winnable game. How they start the first few minutes, in my opinion, will be very, very important. But if they can figure out a way to me, I think their defense, they'll figure it out. The question for me has always been their offense. Can they get good looks, create good opportunities for each other? And if they do that, I think they'll be all right. And hit free throws. It's the little things we look at sometimes. The game of basketball, we make it maybe harder than it needs to be. It's the little things that get you beat. It's not everyone maybe doing or being superheroes to win the games. If you just do your role, do your job, and at a really high level, you have a great chance of winning. You can go, Leo.
Well, Thursday was game for Memphis. Everyone knows that. You either gonna be a contender, or you just gonna be, you just gonna get put back in the also rans. Because Memphis right now is an also ran. They're nowhere near a tournament team. Cincinnati will represent a quad one victory for them, but I'm not even sure they can beat Cincinnati. They beat them the first time in Memphis, but I feel like that crowd really prepared them. As you notice, that crowd really was a big motivator. Historically, Memphis hasn't done well on the road against Cincinnati. And on neutral sites, they haven't really done really good. But I feel that with Bates being out and also a lot of them missing some pieces, this also brought them together as a team because and you can tell like they chose Tyler Harris as their number one option on offense right now. He is. We're just gonna be honest with you. They don't want him to be, but he is because he's the most productive. And you have to. They don't want him to be, but he's their number one right now. DB, he's their go-to guy.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is. Man.
He's a walk-on. This is a walk-on. This isn't at a big time university playing Division I basketball, closing games. That's who you want taking the shots now. It's not a Lester. It's not and these other guys because
definitely not Lester.
No, he's not that bad. But yeah, I get the point. But but anywho, They just have to DB for them to make the tournament. For them to make the tournament, they're gonna have to think of they're not for them to make the NCAA tournament. They're gonna have to take this one game at a time. It's not you can't be looking ahead to Houston 2 games because they play Houston I think 2 times within like 5 games like towards the end of
Well,
the
it's like last year. It's like last year.
Yeah, kind of like last year, and you know that Houston game was that first was gonna be on ABC, so they're playing on primetime television. So it's
Is
gonna
it
be
home?
like no, it's their first Houston game is on the road on
Yeah,
ABC.
Houston home.
Yeah, the second one will be probably on CBS or at home. That's the last game of the season. But but for really for them DB to make the tournament, they're gonna have to take this one game at a time. And I think DB they have no chance of winning the conference tournament without the full roster. They're gonna need everybody back by then. Lester, Landers, all those guys need to be back, and they need to be a well-oiled machine by then. Imani, they're gonna need them all because this AAC is loaded. Anybody can get got on any night. Team Tulsa, Temple, heck, Memphis might not make a run if they lose to a Temple or a Tulsa or East Carolina or somebody like that. You every game is a fight, so they're gonna have to just buckle up, get your chin strap ready, take it one game at a time, and look at it. Every game is a one-game playoff. If we lose, you're done. So just play like that. And I know it puts a lot of pressure on you, but also the reward is worth it. You don't want to be the So I was looking at a Bleacher Report article. They were talking about like the teams in and out. They said Memphis at this point they're playing like they want to defend the NIT title. That's what they're playing like. They're gonna have to because right now DB they're an NIT team.
They are.
And it's a question of would they make the NIT. Is that a question? They might not make the NIT right now.
Yeah.
So and they're not going to the CBI, Brian. I thought you brought that up, but they're not going to that. They'll decline that video. They'll decline that either way. But anywho, they're a team that needs to strap up, like I said, put your mouthpiece in and get ready to play because every game from now on there is DB. They don't even have room for one loss. No.
You don't think so?
No. They have too many downs already. Okay, now
I think, man, like
go ahead.
Like last year, they got beat by Houston twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
The buzzer beat. I think the year prior, before the whole COVID thing went down, I think they beat Houston at home. Then after that, stuff went haywire with COVID, season lost. This year, man, I think if you can beat Cincinnati and at least split with Houston and let that Houston loss be your night loss but win the other games, I think they got a shot, man. But it's going to be hard, man, because they struggle with Tulane, bro. Tulane's pretty good. But go ahead, man.
Yeah, they're going to have to really put themselves together, DB, and I think they're just going to not – they can't put themselves in games where they lose based on careless mistakes. Too many times they're careless errors and mistakes. They try to make a fantasy pass. They try to do this. They reach there. They're fouling too much. It's small, tedious things that are keeping them from being in the top half of this conference. And if Memphis doesn't make the tournament, or one of these other teams step up, AFC is going to be a one bid league because I don't see Houston's the only lock right now.
You don't see Cincinnati. You don't see SMU.
SMU is a sneaky sleeper. I think they could. They're right now. When I look at Joe Leonardi, I know he's not. I mean, accurate, but he's pretty close. And there, I think on the next 4 out, there's the first 4 out, next 4 outs. They beat Houston once or twice. So I think they could make the tournament. But right now, I think it's a one big lead, obviously guaranteed. But I wouldn't be surprised if a 2 big lead. Either someone wins the conference title or SMU gets it.
Okay. Yeah,
I
agree. I just think that personally, everybody knows about the hype of Memphis. That's what I think teams are giving them Memphis their best shot. Like I know a lot of it is Memphis injuries, y'all, but a lot of teams, everybody, you hear all this hype about a team, you're gonna play up to the team. Like this, you're getting everybody's best shot. Like everybody is like a bully. They're like, okay, they're like a bully, like BB. Or we want to see them. We want to see that bully. Want to hit them in the mouth. They want to be the bullies, but they're realizing that they're not gonna get bullied. They're not gonna just walk over and just bully teams. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of
Yeah.
that is because of the injuries. DB, they have had a lot of injuries, and so their rotation, they haven't had their 14-man rotation. That, keep in mind, John is going to redshirt this year because he's out. He hasn't played much. He was going to be a big part of their team this year. Should look like it if he had been able to stay healthy. They've had to play Walker. They've had to play three. They had to play Tadarius Jacobs, who a young guy, freshman guy, and he's a walk-on from Bartlett High School. So their rotations haven't been consistent, but I feel like when they get consistency towards the end of the season, it'll be a late run made. And I'm not gonna say NCAA tournament DB, but they'll be in some sort of postseason play.
Man, I don't know, man. I got wrote today in the column, man. You know what direction the team is gonna go in, because one game they look like they're ready for the Final Four. Next game it's like you're struggling with Tulsa, but you win the game. You shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have been struggling with Tulsa. It looks like the veterans work. When he puts the veterans roster out there, it works, but he doesn't like to stick to it. But we'll see, man. I think they could beat Houston, man. With the personnel, if everybody can come back by February 12th, I think they could beat Houston. I think they could get this game against Cincinnati on a Thursday. It's gonna be tough, but you never know. The Memphis defense show up and they're able to make a couple shots here and there with Quinones, Tyler Harris. I think they can win this game. Sweep sweep Cincinnati, and they gotta play UCF again. That's a tough game. Shoot, the next two is tough. But you got Tulane and UCF back to back. Those teams already beat you. You could possibly if you lose those two games, you cancel Christmas after that, man, for tournament. I'm just saying, Tulane's coming on the come up, man.
Yeah. Give Ron Hunter can coach.
Yeah.
He can really coach. What was I going to say? I think, look, the key for them winning the conference tournament, if they don't get it at large, or they're not in the conversation at large, they got to get a top 4 seed. And in order to do that, because if you don't get a top 4 seed, you have to win four games in a row instead of 3 games in a row.
You said 5.
No, that's not. It's 4. It's 4 because it's only 4 days for the conference tournament. But if you get the bye, the top 4 seed, then you get a bye. So they got to somehow try to finish the top 4, and I think they can do that. The 2 teams that I think are guaranteed to be in the top 4 are SMU and Houston. After that, anybody could get it. So they got to win the games they're supposed to, and they can't lose to bad teams. If you lose to Houston or Cincinnati or even UC, but I think you can beat UCF. Houston or Cincinnati, I mean, when I'm looking at the remainder of their schedule, maybe also add SMU, that'll be tough. That's fine. But anybody else, you can't be losing to them. But, again, Penny knows the objective this season was to make it to the tournament, and he still has a chance to do it, but it's not going to be easy. And also, those postseason tournaments, if it's not the NCAA tournament, I'd be stunned if Jalen Duren and some of the other guys that feel like they're going to the NBA, I'll be stunned if they play in it, because I don't think they would see the point, and I don't see the point either, because they could get hurt their jaws. Kind of like playing in the ball game for them, that they don't see the point of it. But NCAA tournament, obviously, you have a chance to win a championship, so that's a little different. So that's something to also monitor if it comes to that point. But again, they have a shot. They just got to execute.
Yeah, that's true. Pretty much execute, trust each other. Just I don't know if the turnover stuff is just what it is with that, man. That's what they are. They turn the ball over a lot. They can score, when given the opportunities to. But should be a good game, man. I hope they can pull it out against Cincinnati this Thursday, but we'll see. All right, man. So that's it. That wraps it up for another episode of Strike 7 Sports Podcast. You can give us a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. This is on YouTube, On Apple, give us a 5-star rating. I think on Spotify now you can give ratings as well. Let us know how you feel. Hey, like, comment, subscribe. Also check out strike7sports.com for latest content on NFL, the NBA, and much more. Next week will be Super Bowl week. We'll be talking about pretty much Super Bowl. And bring back the NBA next week as the NFL season wraps up. We'll be going right into NFL, not NFL, the NBA. Trade talk is coming up as well. We'll discuss that as well. So we'll see y'all then. Have a blessed night. Peace. We out.